Have you ever wondered what happens after death? Most of us have thought about the unknown mysteries surrounding life and death, and many even fear it. But what if the answers to those mysteries were hidden in a place we never thought to look? Today, we're diving into an eerie and mind-bending story that explores the boundaries of science, the supernatural, and the unknown. In a groundbreaking experiment, a group of scientists decided to push the limits of what we know about life and death by placing a camera inside a coffin. The purpose? To study the decomposition process in real time and uncover secrets of what happens to the human body after death. But what they found was far from what they expected. Before we continue, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our fascinating stories that will make you question everything you thought you knew about life, death, and the world around you. Now, let's dive into this spine-chilling tale. It all began with Dr. Lucas Meyer, a well-known biologist with a passion for the mysteries of the human body. Dr. Meyer was determined to uncover answers about the process of decomposition, a natural phenomenon that happens after death. For years, researchers had studied the body in clinical environments, but no one had ever thought to observe the process from the inside of a coffin, where the body would be completely undisturbed. Teaming up with his colleague, Dr. Amelia Grant, an expert in bioengineering, Dr. Meyer set up a highly unconventional experiment. They wanted to place high-tech cameras inside a coffin to capture the process of decomposition, hoping to learn more about the natural stages of the body's breakdown. The scientists were meticulous in their planning, ensuring the cameras would be equipped with infrared sensors and other advanced technology to give them an unprecedented look into the process. The coffin was sealed with a special glass window to allow the camera to record from inside without disturbing the body. Everything was set up perfectly. The body of a recently deceased man, Mr. Thomas Harris, who had donated his body for the purpose of research, was placed inside. He had been embalmed, so the scientists hoped that they could monitor the decomposition without any contamination or external interference. As the team finished setting up, they all stood around the coffin, nervous and excited. The camera was activated, and the countdown began. Days passed, and the researchers closely monitored the camera feed from a nearby room. Everything seemed normal at first. The body was still in the same position it had been placed in, and there were no significant changes. However, on the fourth day, the team noticed something strange. There was a subtle tapping sound coming from the coffin. At first, they thought it was a technical glitch. Perhaps the camera equipment was malfunctioning. But as the noise grew louder, the scientists began to wonder if something else was at play. It sounded like tapping, almost like someone was trying to communicate from within the coffin. Dr. Meyer dismissed it as an overactive imagination. The body could be shifting, he suggested. Decomposition causes gases to build up, and the body might shift position. But Dr. Grant wasn't so sure. She couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. As the tapping continued, the team kept their eyes on the monitor. The body inside the coffin remained still, but the noises became more rhythmic. Tappity-tap, tappity-tap. It was almost as if the sound was trying to send a message. It wasn't until the sixth day that the situation took a darker turn. As the researchers were reviewing the footage, they noticed something chilling. The body of Mr. Harris appeared to have moved. Not much, but enough to be noticeable. His hand was no longer resting peacefully at his side. It was as though his fingers had curled into a fist. The team was stunned. Dr. Grant immediately checked the camera's positioning, but it was still securely attached to the coffin. "This can't be happening," she murmured. "The body should be completely still." But the strangest part wasn't the movement. It was what came next. As the camera continued to record, a shadowy figure appeared at the edge of the screen, slowly drifting across the frame. The team was in disbelief. No one was inside the room, and no one had been near the coffin for hours. The figure was translucent, almost ghostly, and it hovered around the body. The shape of the figure seemed to flicker in and out of view, like a reflection in a mirror that couldn't quite be focused. Dr. Meyer's heart raced as he watched the footage, and a chill ran down his spine. "What? What is that?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The tapping sound intensified, growing louder and more insistent, as though the figure was now trying to communicate. The temperature in the room dropped, and the monitors began to flicker. The camera feed went haywire, distorting and glitching. But it was clear that something was moving inside the coffin, something beyond the realm of scientific understanding. That night, the team gathered to review the footage together, hoping to make sense of what they had witnessed. Dr. Grant, unable to shake the feeling of dread, suggested that they check the coffin in person. Dr. Meyer hesitated, but agreed. He knew that whatever was happening was beyond anything he could explain with science alone. They entered the room where the coffin was kept, their footsteps echoing eerily in the silence. The coffin sat in the center of the room, illuminated only by the dim glow of overhead lights. The air felt thick, as though something heavy was pressing down on them. As Dr. Meyer approached the coffin, he felt a sudden wave of nausea. The tapping had stopped, but the temperature seemed colder than ever. He and Dr. Grant exchanged nervous glances before they slowly opened the coffin lid. What they saw made them both scream. The body of Mr. Harris was no longer the peaceful figure it had been when they first placed it inside. His face was contorted, twisted into an expression of pain or fear. His eyes were wide open, staring blankly at the ceiling, and his mouth was slightly agape, as though he had been trying to speak. But that wasn't the worst part. As the two scientists stared in horror, they noticed that something was moving beneath the skin of his neck. A faint, almost imperceptible twitch. It was as if his body was still alive, still trying to move, even after death. Dr. Grant stumbled back, clutching her chest. "This can't be real," she whispered, her voice trembling. He's still here. But how?" The camera footage was confiscated by the authorities, and the experiment was immediately shut down. No one could explain what had happened. The body of Mr. Harris was exhumed and examined, but no signs of life were found. Everything appeared normal. However, the footage, the haunting, unexplainable footage, remained. Some say it was a freak occurrence, a glitch in the system. Others believe that the scientists witnessed something supernatural. No one knows for sure. But one thing is clear. The experiment left everyone involved questioning the boundaries of life, death, and what might exist beyond the realm of the living. Was it simply a coincidence? Or had the researchers stumbled upon something they were never meant to uncover? This chilling story serves as a reminder that there are still so many mysteries left to unravel about life, death, and the afterlife. While science has given us remarkable insights into the human body, there are still phenomena that defy explanation. What do you think happened during the experiment? Was it a simple mistake, or was there something more at play? If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more thrilling tales that blur the lines between science and the supernatural, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss the next captivating adventure. Thanks for watching.